Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming News. Today is the 9th May 2018. My name is Kralizec and I will be your host for the evening. Today we got 3 stories for you guys. First we're going to take a look at Fortnite Android beta scams that are floating around space, and well, you shouldn't fall for them. Oh, do I have my light turned on too much? No, I don't. Sorry. Give me a second. Yeah, this is how it should be. Secondly, we're going to take at a World of Warcraft hacker who got sentenced to a year in prison because he DDoSed some of the World of Warcraft servers. And last of all, we're going to take a look at Peggle being available for free, and you should download it right now. But let's begin with the scams you should avoid, as that is obviously the most important piece of advice for today. So, Fortnite, if you missed it by now, I don't know where you are. We've been talking about it pretty much constantly ever since it came out. It's a battle royale game, the most successful one that is on the market. And yeah, it's a good game. If you like battle royale games, if you like PUBG, you should give Fortnite a try. I honestly prefer it to PUBG. And a mobile version has come out from iOS pretty recently, and well, obviously a lot of people have been saddened by the fact that the Android version will be delayed compared to the iOS version. I think there are some pretty fairly obvious reasons behind it. iOS is sort of a closed system, while Android has many more variants. You have to consider the fact that there is much more hardware available, etc., etc. It needs a lot more optimization. It's no secret why programming for Android is much harder than it is for iOS. But since it's been delayed, many people have been getting scammed because they have been getting emails essentially inviting them to participate in the Fortnite beta. But these emails are not real, so if you have gotten one, don't use it. It's a phishing scam. They will use your information. And you need to remember, this isn't the first scam. Like, even this week, we've been talking about scam that has been going on with the V-Bucks, which is the premium currency in Fortnite. So yeah, obviously people who will try to abuse the naivete of some people are floating around, and they are obviously getting some results. Even some big YouTubers have been getting these fake emails. For example, one of them comes from Master OE, who has over 2.5 million subscribers. And he has a video up of getting this email. The email in question usually says something like, you will be sent a code within the next 72 hours, and then you will be able to log in to an online portal to retrieve the code. But these sites are fake, they are not real. They will just gather your information and either abuse it themselves, or they will just sell it to the highest bidder, or more likely to many of the bidders, because well, each piece of cash you can get is some cash. So if you get anything like this, be sure to ignore it because it's fake, and don't click phishing scams. Please be careful with your personal information. I know a lot of people don't understand the value of your personal information, but even things like the date of your birth, where you're from, and even your name can be abused to unimaginable degrees. On top of that, if you have like a login and you're, well, stupid and you use the same password for many sites, and this site requires you to use login and a password, well, they get access to your password, and they will then try to use the same combination of a login and password in other sites. And if you use the same, they will obviously get access to more of your personal information, maybe even access to things like your credit card number, to things like the security code, your security questions, and those are all things that you obviously don't want to get into. Oh, bad people. Be sure to be very careful with your personal information. Always make sure that what you are putting your information into is a real site, that it is not a scam. If you're not completely sure that it is the real thing, make some investigation into it. look up whether there are some scams floating around, check the website address very carefully. Often they will use like a slight misspelling, something you wouldn't notice at a glance, but if you just look even the slightest bit carefully, you will notice the misspellings in there. So again, please people, be very, very careful with your personal information. Let's move on to the second piece of news. The second piece of news for today comes from World of Warcraft, where a player who has been DDoSing some of the World of Warcraft servers has got some prison time on his hands. So this is coming from Romania. Well, he's a Romanian hacker who has been extradited to the United States on the November 20th after being indicted for launching a DDoS attack against Blizzard's World of Warcraft servers, and he has been sentenced to a year in prison. On top of that, he has to pay essentially $30,000 to Blizzard as a compensation for the time for which the servers were not usable. More precisely, he has to pay $29,987. That's a really nice number. I don't know why it's this number, why it isn't $30,000. It's $30. It wouldn't have changed a bit. But I like the number. I really do. The name of the hacker is Kralizec, and he pled guilty to 1 count of intentional damage to a protected computer back in February. The DDoS attacks that in question happened somewhere between February and September of 2010, and he was doing it out of spite to some other players in games with whom he had some arguments. His attacks on the World of Warcraft European servers, because, well, you have to remember, he's from Romania, Romania is in Europe, have caused actually some of the players not to be able to access the game at all. And that's obviously not the greatest thing when you want to play your favorite game. And I think this is a fairly decent sentence. I don't think it is too much. I don't think it is too little. Somebody from Romania, $30,000 is a quite big sum of money. I do not know what his income has been, but I do think that it isn't going to be a small sum for him. And on top of that, spending a year in federal prison isn't something that you would necessarily look to. On top of that, if you are a hacker, and that probably means, well, now I'm going to go into stereotypes, but likely he isn't going to be the most macho guy, and being a weakling in prison is not something you would like to endure, as I guess many of you can imagine. The interesting part about this is that World of Warcraft has been the target of numerous, like so many DDoS attacks over the years he has been running. And it has been running for a long time. I think it's been like, when did actually World of Warcraft launch? WoW launch year, I think it was like 2004 actually. It's 14 years the game has been running. So you can just imagine the number of DDoS attacks it has endured over the time. And it just makes sense that Blizzard wants to get it under control. And getting somebody into prison for a year is probably a good deterrent for the vast majority of people who would even consider doing this. Obviously, this won't stop everyone, but you can't ever stop everyone. That's just not a reasonable goal. Hopefully, DDoS attacks will continue to not be that big of a deal to World of Warcraft, and hopefully the people who consider doing these things will think about it twice, because now they know they can go to prison and actually pay a pretty big sum of money. And our last piece of news for today is going to be quite short, but is something you shouldn't miss out. One of the most amazing casual puzzle games out there is now available completely for free on the EA Origin service. The game in question is Peggle. Obviously, Peggle isn't the most hardcore of games. It's one of the original titles that brought casual gaming to the masses. It's honestly one of the few games that ever appeared on my cell phone. I haven't kept it there for that long as the most popular game, which is called, I think, Pinout. But it is a good game, and it's available for free, so what are you waiting for? Go download it now. It's for free, it's free, it's free. Yeah. And with that being said, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider giving us a thumbs up here on YouTube and subscribing to the channel. If you are watching on Steam, maybe you want to give us an upvote and follow the blog. Either way, be sure to leave a comment and be sure to tune in tomorrow for more gaming news, as we are a source of daily gaming news every single day. See you guys later with more gaming content.